Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm, of course, your host, Mega Mike the Movie Man. We are having our Criterion post-game sale show where we're celebrating all the titles we picked up. We're going to have an amazing panel. We're going to go through our titles, maybe rank them for you, give you a quick little review and recommendation. So maybe you're prepared next Criterion stream. See if you want to pick those up. And we'll talk about maybe some future sales we're excited for and just kind of share those Criterion stories out there. So let's bring out this amazing panel. They're already here. You guys ready for this Criterion party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to be pumped up for this Friday night. All right. We got to give the audience a good show here. So let's see if there's anybody joining in tonight. Oh, we got one comment. That's all we need. Jeff is there. Good evening, everyone. Amazing panel. Thank you so much, Jeff. All right.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever streamed on a Friday night. I'm not sure if I've ever done that before.
I'll see. Now it's truly a party. When you do Friday night, kind of feels a little different, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the weekend, but I'm streaming. I'm like, man, I could be at the movie theaters doing all this other stuff, but we're streaming instead.
This is what married people do, I think. They Friday nights they can't go out on Fridays, so they just do live streams. That's what I hear of.
There you go.
That's what April and I did.
Oh, we got Holland in here. See, there's people joining us Friday night. Corey's in here. See, people do want to see this stream on a Friday night. It's amazing. Okay, so we're just going to get right into this. I think our first topic here, just simple, nice little introduction. How did the Criterion sale go for everyone, just in general? You know, where'd you go shopping? Any fun store experiences? Anything like that? Johnny, I know you said you had some fun stories in there. I can't wait to hear them.
Yeah, it's just one. I don't know about the rest of you, but I like going into Barnes and Noble or any other store for that matter to actually pick up what I want. I really don't trust the mail because you hear that loose disc and you start to panic. So it was towards the end of the sale, and the big release that came out was Risky Business. And I was like, all right, I'm going to see if they actually have it. And if you look on your Barnes & Noble app, you can see where they have it online, or you can pick it up in the store. Well, they said they were sold out online, but you could pick it up in the store. So, all right, I didn't want to have to drive an hour round trip. So they said they had it. So I went down there to pick it up. And I got into the store, and I'm sure most of your Barnes & Nobles are the same. They have these little peg boards. They have like 4 or 5 discs that they stick in there. Well, there was no Risky Business in there, and my Barnes & Noble has reduced their Criterions down to like one shelf, and it's like a bunch of just 2 or 3 copies of one film, 1 copy, 2 or 3, and so on. I'm like, all right, so I made my way around the DVD section to make sure it wasn't someone didn't place it somewhere else. Didn't have it, so I went to Little Help Desk Center, and I said, yes, I'm looking for the 4K of Risky Business. And they said, oh, yeah, I'll be right back. So they went to the back, and I'm sitting there just, all right, I'm going to finally get it. This will be my last pickup. They came out, and they started to ring it up, and I'm like, no. That's the Blu-ray. I wanted the 4K, and they said, no, yes, it's 4K Blu-ray. And I'm like, no, that's what's 4K. And this, it almost got heated. It was like 5 to 7 minutes. I was like yelling at this person.
Oh, goodness.
Luckily, the manager came over and he said, look, he actually did some investigating, and they had sold it right before I got in.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, God. So in a way to make it up to me, they gave me a $25 credit.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I'm like, all right. So I go pick up one 4K. So
I'm going to learn that lesson.
So nobody got hurt during that trip then.
Similar.
My pride got hurt.
Yeah.
I ordered the Risky Business 4K off of the Criterion or Barnes & Noble website as well. And when I went to pick it up, it was the Blu-ray. So they handed me the Blu-ray. I almost walked out of the store before realizing it, but then I saw it was a Blu-ray. So I took it upon myself to go over to the section and I found the 4K and I just switched it. And I thought, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
Because I paid for the 4K, and then I tried to leave the alarms go off.
Oh Lord.
Get him.
But then I showed her my receipt, and it was a quick fix. But yeah,
Wow.
I had a similar problem.
See, that's why they need something different than just a sticker for Blu-ray and 4K. It's causing all this madness out there. I tell you, it's just too difficult to tell them apart.
I got the last copy of Risky Business, which give away my next pick. But I was lucky. Like they had a Blu-ray, and then the 4K was right behind that. But yeah, it's right there. They only had 2 copies, and so I got the second one was the 4K. I was happy to get that on Tuesday night when it got released.
Yeah.
All
Well, I was in my Barnes & Noble, and I was there for the Risky Business 4K also. They didn't have it there. They didn't have the Blu-ray. So I set the place on fire. The sprinklers went off.
Wow.
Yep.
The fire department came, but I did end up picking up some other titles, so it was all good.
Wow.
Like melting office space over here. Set the building on fire.
That's right.
So I'm like, I didn't have any of the issues with Risky Business. I just pre-ordered it online.
Oh.
It came in no problem. But I like Johnny's story. You got a little $25 out of it. That's hilarious. That's all you got to do. You got to argue with the employee there.
Start throwing things in the floor. Listen, Buster.
Sir, $25 right here. Get out of the store.
So now, does that employee know the difference between 4K and Blu-ray, or do you think they're still lost?
Well, I mean, how hard is it? One is silver, one is blue.
You'd be surprised.
I mean,
I'll tell you, they think everything's a DVD, I'm sure.
We got a DVD in the back.
We got a DVD here for you. Oh, that's great. All right. Anything else happen, Johnny, with your shopping experiences? Were you able to get other titles you were looking for?
Well, with the exception of, I don't, for some reason, I don't understand why I can't find Pinocchio. And I've been looking for that one since like last year. Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to go into the store to get it. And that one and the Before trilogy has always been out.
Wow. Virtually.
Not even a Blu-ray of Pinocchio out there?
I mean, I want the 4K. Yeah, that's right, Steve. Yeah, just rub it in my face.
Just showed off a little bit. You want this right here? You want
this, boy? You want it?
I think that's going to get a 4K eventually, though. Honestly, I think all link letter stuff. It's going to get a 4K. That's not something you need in 4K, in my opinion, though. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their most popular box set, though. Probably like that's the one I always hear talked about. So yeah, if something's gonna get a 4K, that's probably the trilogy to do it.
Godzilla too. That's a real popular one too.
Yeah,
that big book thing. Yeah,
I know, right? The minute I decide to buy that one, it's like, 4K announced next time. Oh my gosh!
Right.
All right, Steve, how did all your shopping experiences go?
Went extremely well. I mean, I bought it all at, there's like maybe four different Barnes & Noble locations around me. I've got one, like 3 of them are like about 30 minutes apart. So there was one that I went to 2 different stores. They didn't have it, and the third store had it. And it was actually a store that actually stopped selling Criterions like a couple years ago when they shrunk their space. They gave up some of their space to Ross Dress for Less, whatever, next door. They gave up some of their location. They got rid of their movie.
Take it over.
And then, for some reason, they brought just a little section of like the newer Criterion releases. They just keep limited stock, and they happen to have one title that I have in my stack here. So, but yeah, I didn't do any online shopping. Didn't buy any used copies of anything anywhere in a month. Everything was Barnes & Noble, and I got 12 titles, and excited to talk about what I have here.
Yeah, 12 titles. That's some damage right there. That's awesome. Tony, how about you?
Yeah, I made 2 trips. So the beginning of the month was exciting. I was all ready for it. I got my first batch, and then when Risky Business came out, I bought a second batch. So it was pretty good. The excitement kind of wore off throughout the month. But overall, I was able to pick up 11 titles. Had 2 pretty good trips to the store. Didn't catch anything on fire. That was just a joke, in case anybody's curious. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I know, it's like investigation starts
The store's on
happening.
fire in Atlanta. Like, I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
All right, Vin, how about you? I know you always do some damage on these sales.
Yeah. It's always great. It was, typically great. The thing that made this one a little bit different is me and my wife actually took a trip out to Brooklyn for an event during the Criterion sale. So I was able to find a Barnes Nobles, and I shared it on my Instagram, but they had the biggest Criterion wall I've ever seen. I mean,
Right.
I don't been out traveling around the country looking for, the biggest Criterion, but this store in Brooklyn had a wall from, the floor all the way up beyond your head, probably about 20 feet long, covered with Criterions.
Oh, wow.
So that was awesome. And that was kind of the highlight of this sale. It was great. But yeah,
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. I mean, that's so many titles there, right? They must have had
it was crazy.
hundreds.
And I took a video where I went from the left and went all the way over to the right with my phone. It's like, it was insane. It was insane.
It's called hitting the Criterion mother load right there.
I could have stayed there for at least an hour just browsing, but my wife was like, "Hey, there's a farmer's market outside." I was like, yeah, there's a farmer's market out there. That's really cool, but
I'll catch up with you later.
can we meet up in like an hour, maybe?
Wow.
Wow.
But it was
Yeah,
good.
and did you say, is that the biggest store for Criterion? Like,
I don't know nationwide, but it's certainly by far the biggest I've ever seen. Yeah.
oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely probably a better store than the ones I went to. I went to 3 different stores. 2 of them were pretty pitiful. They had barely any Criterions, and then they had all these other movies there, and I'm like, who's buying all these other random like Disney movies for like $50? I don't get it. I'm like, what? These overpriced Blu-rays all taking up all these sections, and there's like this little half a Criterion area.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of stuff online, like the ones I really wanted. I've been waiting on, got them online, pre-ordered Risky Business. And then when I went in store, that was kind of more blind buys and just, okay, that looks kind of cool. I remember Vin talking about that one. Let me pick that one up. That type of thing. So yeah, I went to a few different stores, 2 of them pretty pitiful. One of them was a little bit better, had more of a selection. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I like the mixture of the in-store and online experience. That kind of get everything. And you guys got so many. I'm like, ooh, I got the most I ever got this time. I got like 8 titles.
That's pretty good.
11. I got 12. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's way more than me. Normally I'm a 5er. I'm like 5, done. But I'm like, I got 8 this time. That feels like a lot.
That's a more healthy approach, Mike.
All right. So now our main, well, let's look in the comments here because these comments are popping off. Let's see. What do we got here? Jeff, of course, is saying I have got to start watching that Before trilogy. Yep.
Another person who has it.
Oh yeah, you have it, Jeff, and you didn't even watch it yet.
I think he just recently got it because of our last stream together, Criterion. So
Yeah.
I think he just picked that up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick with it. You gotta stick with it. You gotta watch all 3 of them, and Tiana saying, look at this awesome panel. Well, look at Tiana, awesome Tiana, member of the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on that level. Let's see. We got Physical Media Man here.
How's it going?
I grabbed 2, changed my mind, returned them, and ordered 4 titles from the carousel. What? Oh man! I'm like,
shame on you.
Change your mind. Like, what? I got to hear this story, Physical Media Man. What happened? Did you watch them and then return them, or did you like just take them home? We're like, oh, I don't want these anymore. What made the decision for you to return them? Did you watch a trailer after you picked them up, or somebody's recommendation said, oh no, those were no good? I got to hear that. What happened with that?
Yeah, we got to know what the titles are too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, Kino's pretty cool too, though.
Right there, right. You know what? There was a couple titles in here. I'm like, oh, I just want to return these. Oh,
Buyer's remorse.
yeah. So that happens sometimes, especially Criterion, such a diverse catalog out there.
Right.
You know, yeah.
There's some great
Sometimes,
ones though. Some
oh yeah.
really mainstream great titles too that you can always pick up and start your collection off of those.
We got Movie Hunter in here saying hello to everybody, of course. Let's see. Jeff, yes, Vin's love for the trilogy made the decision to grab this last sale. Easy. Yeah.
I was able to advocate for it. I think it's a solid trilogy.
Yep. Got cultural training. What's up?
What's up, Trini?
All right. So our main round here, and that's what we'll spend most of the show on, talking about our pickups. Once again, I said, maybe we'll rank some of these, give you, quick little reviews, say if it was actually a pickup we really enjoyed and we would recommend it for next time. And who would you recommend it to? Because tastes vary so differently as well. All right, Johnny, you ready to start going through those titles?
Yeah. I mean, are we going to go through all of our titles, or do you want to like I go through 3, then Steve goes and?
Okay, yeah. How many titles did you get again?
I got 17.
Wow.
17?
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. We got to break that up now. Okay.
Thank
Well, I only have 8, so I can break mine into thirds. I'll go with 3, 3, and 2. How about that? All right. So how much is that for you, Johnny? That's I don't know, I can't do that. That's like 8. Do like
8.
Yeah.
All right.
What? Hit us with that first 8.
All right, I'll go by spine numbers since everybody likes going by the spine. So,
and if someone starts talking about a title that they picked up that maybe we got, can we kind of elaborate on it?
Show it, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Show it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the ones that I actually sat down and saw, I'll talk about. The ones I haven't seen yet, I'll just say, I picked this up. All right, the first one I picked up, spine number 91. It is The Blob.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only seen this once, and I saw it as a kid, and I've got the Scream Factory remake, and I had to have this one. I wanted to get it the last sale, but I decided to pick up something else instead. But The Blob.
And now, what do you prefer, the original or the remake?
That's on sale.
I haven't seen this since 87, so right now it's the remake, but who knows? Maybe after I watch this, I'll like this one more. But the remake is a really, really good remake.
Yeah, it's horror. I mean, I like the remake a lot.
Okay, my second one is Spine 140, and I actually did watch this, and it's also my first Fellini film, and it's 8.5.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
This is probably the best film that's ever been made about the process of making a film and what goes on with it.
Right.
And Marcello Mastroianni he plays a director, and they label it like his life was falling apart around him, but it's not. I didn't see that like his life was falling apart. It's just like he's trying to fix his life. Well, maybe actually that's what it is. I'm an idiot. But
no. Yeah, it's complex, isn't it?
It is, and I was like, "What?" And I'm sitting there and I'm reading the subtitles on it because it's in Italian, and I'm having to sit down, look up, and it's so wonderful how this is made, and I don't understand why Marcello wasn't nominated for Best Actor in this. This is really good. I love the score in this, and it's just an all-around wonderful film. And I might set this aside for a little bit later and watch it again. Now, my next one is Spine 182, and I just finished this one before I came on with you guys. How many of you have seen Straw Dogs?
All
of you?
I have it. Yeah.
Nope,
Straw Dogs.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's dark.
I had never seen this.
Scene.
I've seen the remake, but I haven't seen this one, and it looks like it was pretty much a shot-for-shot remake. With the take out the football game and all that other stuff. But Yeah, you can tell where Peckinpah, where they were like, his era of filmmaking was kind of like passing him by.
Mhm.
With Schlesinger coming out with Midnight Cowboy and with Kubrick. It's really good. I just could not stand the actress in this and her role. But if you haven't seen it, it's about Dustin Hoffman and Susan George are a married couple, and they go to England, I guess. He's on sabbatical. He's a mathematician, and it's her hometown, and like her ex-boyfriend and his friends are start kind of like bullying him, I want to say, to an extent, but humiliating him. He's intimidated by them. And there's a sexual assault scene in this I really don't want to get into. But the last 45 minutes of this film, they just ratchet this thing up and they're trying to take over the house. And it's a great film. I like that.
Yeah, there's
3.5 stars on Letterboxd.
That sexual assault scene was highly controversial. Anything? I was gonna say it was very controversial because of she kind of, I don't want to spoil it, but it was controversial. Yeah. Then the ending was total chaos.
Yeah. I've never seen Dustin Hoffman do anything like that before. That kind of violent.
Mm-mm.
But I love the Midnight Cowboy shot.
It's like yeah. Okay. My next one, I did watch this. It's Spine number 214.
Okay.
All That Money Can Buy.
Yeah.
Or The Devil and Daniel Webster. Fantastic film. It's basically just a telling of the Faustian tale of selling your soul to the devil. Walter Houston gives a amazing performance in here as the devil, or Scratch, if that's what you want to call him.
Scratch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I saw this movie that he's the father of John Houston and the grandfather of Danny Houston and Angelica Houston. Didn't know that. He's Canadian. I didn't know he's Canadian, and they were all born in the U.S. So yeah, I didn't know that. I like this movie a lot, though.
It's really, really good. Now, I'd never seen it before, but we've all heard the Faustian tale, and I'm like, all right, let's see what this is about, and it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I had that in the last sale, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's just like a telling of just like an old fable, like you said.
Yeah.
This one is Spine 248. I'd never seen this before, but I'm a huge fan of his films.
Yes.
Videodrome. I did check this out, and I'm like, okay. I was telling a friend of mine about this after I'd seen it. I'm like, the message seems to get overshadowed by what you see on screen.
Right. Yeah.
But the visual effects in this, top notch. I love it. I love Rick Baker. But I think I gave this 3.5, maybe 4 on Letterboxd. First time watching it, I will need to watch it again.
It grows on you, though. Yeah, it's my second favorite Cronenberg movie, next to The Fly.
Yep, that's my favorite of Cronenberg's The Fly. And I'll go one more, and then I'll pass it on to somebody else. I'll pass it on to Steve. This one, I've only seen once, and it was years ago. 8/21, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't seen this since. I know it's got a 4K, but I'm a Criterion snob, so I'm only going to have this one.
Yeah, I have the 4K of that, but I still kind of want to get that Criterion.
So that's it for my first round. So,
okay.
All right, Steve, what you got?
All right, so yeah, this first one is the one I had to go to 3 stores to get, and finally I was happy to find it. The store that barely has any Criterions at all, but I got Bound. I had never the Wachowskis. I'd never seen this before. I knew, obviously I knew he did this before the Matrix, and I like this movie a lot. It's Joey Pants is in it. Pantoliano. I have a hard time saying his name, but I enjoy this a lot. And I could see, I guess they were given this, the Wachowskis were given this film to kind of prove themselves so they can do the Matrix. You know, they had to kind of prove that they could direct a movie and do it. And you know, I enjoyed that one a lot. But this one, a lot of people told me about. I got One False Move. You know, Billy Bob Thornton, and I like
love
this
that one.
cast. Like Michael Beach and Cinda Williams. You know, Bill Paxton. I enjoy this a lot. This is the one that Bill Bob Thornton did, like Sling Blade, I think, shortly after this one, or he did like Dead Man and then Sling Blade, and it's kind of those. I think he's a co-writer of this, and he did. I think he co-wrote it with maybe the director or somebody. But I like the style. Some of the acting in some scenes I didn't love, but I really like the story. Bill Paxton does one scene where he kind of retells, and I think if the director had been more experienced, they would have reshot that scene just the way that Bill Paxton kind of describes a incident that took place, and just the way he told it, I didn't like it necessarily. But some of the acting was decent, you know, but sometimes it was a little bit off, and I think it's because the director wasn't experienced yet. But of course, I got this Peeping Tom. I know a lot of people told me about this one, and that is very, very strange, kind of a horror film, sort of a slasher film. You know, showing from the you know, like the point of view of the killer. I enjoy that a lot. And I'm not giving the spine numbers. Yeah.
I set up, but I gotta watch it still.
Oh yeah. I talked about this one. I think maybe on my channel, but I enjoyed this a lot. It's a Takeout. If you ever saw it? Yeah. The first time I saw it, I thought, I'm not totally sure if I like that, because the ending really kind of bothered me a lot. But it takes place in New York. A lot of the characters are. It's shot kind of like a documentary, but it's acted out with you know with actors. And a lot of them speak, you know, Chinese, Mandarin. You know, but the main star of the movie is, I think he's from South Korea, and he had to learn Mandarin, and it's just really kind of heartbreaking in a lot of ways. You know, not that it's necessarily tragic, but there's just the story. If you see what he goes through the whole day, the whole thing, and just the way it ends, it's like, wow, guy had it rough.
I recommend to Tim. I think I love that. Sean Baker, everything he does. I haven't seen one Sean Baker film that I think is bad. Like he taps into something in all of his films where he just kind of hones in on lower class America, whether it's immigrants, whether it's people who are impoverished, whatever it is. Like he just does it so freaking well. And Takeout is so interesting because it shows you all these, as he's making his deliveries, all these different parts of the city, but also the inner workings of the kitchen for the Chinese restaurant and how hard they're working and grinding every day. I love Takeout.
Right. Yeah, I like the commentary on this too. Sean Baker does a commentary with the main star and the co-director. Co-director, I think she speaks Chinese, so she was kind of able to communicate with the cast, and kind of you know, Sean Baker's the main director. She's kind of this like an assistant basically, but she's listed on here too as a co-director. And I actually watched this the other night. Got another Kurosawa movie. It's a Akiru. If you've ever seen the movie Living, it's a remake of this with Bill Nighy, and I like the story a lot. This is like 1950, 52, and it's the same story. If you've ever seen Living, it's just like the same kind of story. I'd say if you're not comfortable with Japanese, check out Living, because you'll get the story, the same story on it. But Bill Nighy got nominated for an Oscar for his retelling of this story. Kurosawa has a lot of movies that have been remade into American. I think Spike Lee's about to do High and Low. Yep. I think a remake of that. Yeah. And of course, Magnificent Seven was based off of Seven Samurai, and a lot of Kurosawa's movies are kind of based on like Shakespeare and like real stories that he kind of reshaped into like kind of the Japanese culture. And so yeah, this one I like Living a lot. I saw Living before seeing this, but the story is very 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 similar. And then I'm doing 6 right now. Last one here is 5 Easy Pieces. Yeah, I never saw this with Jack Nicholson before. Love the ending. It's very very dark. Not so much dark, but it's got that 70s kind of vibe to it. The you know that kind of thing. at that time, just the way that people were over 50 years ago. This is a 1970. Yeah, I enjoy this one a lot though. And this is in like the box set. You can get the 7-film box set that has the Monkeys movie head, and it's got some other titles in it that Easy Riders in it, and they're all in the same box set. But I have like 3 of them.
America box set,
yeah. Because I bought the Last Picture Show on 4K last year, and I already had 5 easy pieces through Criterion, so it's like I'm not going to get the box set. I'm just going to get these movies by themselves, and the box set's not in 4K. It's all Blu-ray. So that's why I got Last Picture Show by itself. But that's what I got for now, though.
Yeah, 5 easy pieces. I love Nicholson in that one. The whole dynamic with him and
Karen Black.
Yes, yeah, it's fantastic. And the ending, like you said, not to spoil it, but it's not dark. It's almost comedic.
Yeah, it's just got that tone from the 70s.
That's probably his earliest performance, where it's like, wow, who is this guy? I love that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tony, you got some titles?
Yeah, so I guess I'll do four each round because I picked up 11, so I'll do 4, 4, and 3. But the first one, I'm going to do this in order of when I watched them because I was able to watch every title that I picked up. But the first one is 45 Years, which is about a man and woman fixing to celebrate their 45th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And they receive a letter and find out about her husband's, one of his first loves, passing away. And the story kind of disintegrates from there. The mood changes. The wife is in, I don't know, it's just a weird, strange telling. It's kind of depressing. I didn't care much for it. The performances were great. The story was good, but it wasn't a feel-good movie, in my opinion. I don't like seeing marriages fall apart.
Yeah.
Next one I saw was Dogfight. I really love this one. I had never seen it before. It starts off as a kind of like a bully type situation where they have this dogfight where they choose women who they think their parents may not be the best, and they try to have a contest on who can pick the ugliest one. But in this situation, this guy kind of falls in love with a girl, and I think it was a really great story. Nice to see a change of attitude, and so I really enjoyed that story. The next one I watched is My Life as a Dog.
Wow.
And this one is a foreign film. I do remember reading the subtitles, but for the life of me, I cannot tell you anything about this movie. I remember there's a little boy in it. There's a boy on the picture, but I don't remember the story. I don't know what about it made me forget, but I just don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's good. I gave it 3 stars and a heart.
Yeah, Tony, I'm right there with you. I have that title as well, and I remember really enjoying it. I think it was like a really good coming of age, but I can't remember any plot details.
And I read the back of it, and it still didn't help. So next time I watch it, I'm going to watch it with commentary, maybe if they have one.
Yeah.
Because I remember liking the story. I just don't remember what it was about. And then
commentary helps a lot when you're watching a foreign film. Just kind of translate it again.
Yeah, usually with the Criterion release, if I watch it when I watch it the second time, I usually like to watch it with commentary on. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about is Peepin' Tom.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of raving about this one, about it being a slasher. I enjoyed it for what it was. It did have a lot of 70s type feel about it. It was dated. It wasn't scary at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was creepy. The atmosphere I thought was great as far as this apartment complex. Pretty much a 1 location type situation, maybe 2. But overall, I think it's one that everybody should check out, especially if you like slashers. It's one that kind of, I don't know, it was different back then. But as far as, I think what was good about this film was the way that it was shot. It was very interesting. The actors were really good, but it was kind of slow.
Yeah.
And I like more graphic thrillers. I like something to be exciting and scary,
Yeah.
and this wasn't that, but it was still worth the watch.
Yeah, it's directed by Michael Powell. He was married to Thelma Schoonmaker, the editor for a lot of Martin Scorsese's movies. And they're both, if you watch these, like the Red Shoes and that, they all talk about the film restoration and how much.
Oh yeah, I
she
watched
was
some
married to.
special features for this one. It was special features were great,
Yeah.
but it didn't make me like the movie any
Yeah.
more than I already did. I liked it. It just wasn't great.
hmm
Yeah.
It's British, it's
Yeah.
I don't know how it looks on 4K. I bought it on Blu-ray and it's
Oh, it looked
kinda
great. It looked
looked
great.
great on Blu. Okay.
Yeah, great audio and visual.
Yeah.
All right, Vin, you got your titles?
Yeah, so I actually just scooted away for a sec because I was trying to find a title that My Life as a Dog. It reminded me of that. It's called King of the Hill, Steven Soderbergh film that I recently found on Criterion. Has anyone seen that one?
Oh no,
No.
I love
So-
I love the TV show though.
I know that's what I was thinking. Hey, kill. And...
Yeah, it's about an Italian immigrant or Italian boy back in like the 1950s. I think it's set in the 1950s, and it's about his parents both kind of just leave him to his own devices, and he's like supposed to take care of his younger sibling. But it's kind of a similar story with a coming of age vibe, but fantastic film. One that I am able to remember better, which probably means it is better, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, King of the Hill, check that out. But I picked up 25.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Of course.
So I'm gonna burn through most of it real quick. I have 3 of them that I haven't watched yet, and then I have a big stack of ones that I have either already seen or already watched. I'm gonna burn through that real quick, and then for the next round, I'll talk about. I have some of my top recommendations set aside.
Yep.
But one thing I did in this sale, I have been holding off for years, quite frankly. I finally started buying David Lynch. Whether
Wow.
that's good or bad, I'm not sure. But I got Mulholland Drive 4K. Have
Yep.
not watched it yet. I got The Elephant Man. Have not watched it yet. And another one, the last one I haven't watched yet, again, is Peeping Tom.
Yep.
So now I'm going to burn through all the titles that I did already watch. I picked up Risky Business. I picked up Anatomy of a Fall. Still sealed. I watched this streaming, but I liked it enough. I wanted to have it. Although I don't love that cover, honestly.
Yeah.
I picked up To Die For. This is one that I had seen streaming, and I rewatched it, and I enjoyed it. I picked up Lone Star. I did not enjoy this as much as a lot of other more newer westerns that I absolutely adore. This one fell a little bit short for me, but
Yeah.
I picked up Nothing But a Man. This was a total blind buy that I enjoyed. I picked up Come and See.
Wow.
Very bleak film about war. And hey, it's a bit long. It's worth your time, though. If you've seen it, yeah. Another total blind buy, Me and You and Everyone We Know. This was a fun film, kind of tracking the romances of different people of different ages, but I enjoyed this one.
Wow.
Round Midnight. This one I enjoyed, but it's not one I would clamor that you go out and grab, but it was fine. Blue Velvet. I told you that I dug into Lynch for this sale, and this one I did watch. It's one of those ones I probably need a rewatch, but if you follow my channel or if you guys have interacted with me enough, I tend to not like noir films. I'm not a noir fan, and this is fairly noir.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm defective, but I just don't like noir. So I didn't really love that one. Eraserhead.
Yeah. It's bizarre. It's great.
Boyhood. Another Linklater. He does the same thing with Boyhood that he does in the Before trilogy, where he's keeping the same actors and he's filming it where you're watching them progress over time. I quite enjoyed it. It is 165 minutes long, so it's long, but I did not enjoy it as much as Boyhood as much as the Before trilogy. He tends to have his characters always want to wander off into these existential conversations about all this random bullshit in their life. Like, hey, calm
Yeah.
down, like relax. So he does that a little bit too much for me in this one. But it's still a great film.
That's
Yeah,
Linklater.
I saw Boyhood in the theater when it was released, and I think seeing it in the theater kind of made it easier for me to watch.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one, but I haven't visited it again
I mean,
since.
it's a long film, and I enjoyed I mean, I was never bored. I was never like checking the runtime, but like the son keeps on talking with his girlfriend or his father about like all this stuff. Where it's like, just relax, buddy. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know.
The concept of Boyhood is so much even better than the movie. The concept of 11 years getting the same cast together, filming one, a little bit every year. That's amazing. That's what everybody's like. What he did that? Like, just to get that the same people together every year and see the kids kind of grow up. And one of them's Linklater's daughter in the movie as well.
Yeah. This is another one that I was browsing at my local store, had no idea what it was, and I just grabbed it. It's called The Other Side of Hope. It's about a Syrian refugee in Finland, I believe, and he encounters another man who kind of is going through a relocation of his own sorts, and it was interesting. It was nothing I would be like, hey, get this movie, but I enjoyed it. Another one I got was Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah,
this is a fairly bleak film. Has anyone seen this?
I have.
Nope.
Yeah.
There's
a few films that deal with youth in impoverished situations as they navigate their surroundings and try to survive that I absolutely adore. This one would be at the bottom end of that for me. There, I can name you 2 or 3 that I like more, but again, I'd have to rewatch it. But this has a very kind of ambiguous and bleak ending to it.
Wow.
Got 2 more. Jules and Jim. I was mainly attracted to this one because it has a nice fat spine on it, and it was only $19.99. It's about essentially a love triangle in a French film. It was pretty good, 1962. And the last one, I got a fair amount of Jarmusch, Jim Jarmusch in this, and it is Stranger Than Paradise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I need to see that one. I've got Dead Man and Ghost Dog, so I like those 2 movies. And
yep, I have Dead Man and Ghost Dog as well. But for my final turnaround, I have a couple Jarmusch's that, for me, blow them out of the water.
Right. Okay. I
discovered some Jarmusch that I was like, holy crap, this is way better than everything I've seen from you. For me, like, I enjoyed it way more. But that'll be for the last.
So Billy Bob Thornton was in. He had that cameo in Dead Man, and then he had Jim Jarmusch. He was in Sling Blade. If you've ever seen Sling Blade with the hot dog stand, that was Jim Jarmusch was behind the concession stand, getting the
with a little paper hat.
Yeah, he's great. So he did that as like as a favor to, and as far as Come and See, do you think that's darker than Stalker? Do you think that's darker than that story? I've never seen Come and See.
Stalker, I have seen, but it's something I'm going to need to revisit because I just remember not being able to ever find a connection.
Really?
Come and See, I can find the connection. I'm tethered to that movie right away.
100%. You need to check it out.
Yeah. Stalker, I can't ever find something to grab onto. I don't know what it is.
It's dark. It's a pretty dark movie, but I like Stalker though for the most part, and just in a sick kind of way. I kind of like to. I'd have to see which one's longer. Which movie's longer?
What's his name there? Tarkovsky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where they kind of go into that like zone.
Yeah, the radiation, whatever. Yeah, the nuclear area, and like most of the people that worked on that film died later of cancer.
So you're a special features guy. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I don't
the
commentaries and all that stuff.
I don't ever watch special. They actually went into a radiated zone. It's insane.
Yeah, the zone is like, it was dangerous because it was a toxic waste dump area, and they risked their own lives. And I mean, they didn't die like right away, but it was over like a course of like 20 years. They died of cancer.
That's even worse.
That puts a whole different feel on when you're watching.
Yeah. I love the ending to that too. The whole little movement at the end. I liked it though. But it is a very long movie. I'd have to see which one is a shorter film, Come and See, or that one. I think they're both long movies.
Come and See is something like a 2:45, something like that.
Yeah, it's 142 minutes. Stalker's a long movie too. It was like close to 3 hours, I think. That's 161 minutes. So it's close. So soccer is a longer movie.
All right, nice. Just a reminder to the audience before I forget, if you love Criterion movies, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe out there. Of course, consider super chats to get some thank you videos out there. Check out memberships for some exclusive perks and content. But now I'm going to get into a few titles here. I only got 8, remember? So I'll go with the first 3. And these are probably ones I'm okay if I didn't pick them up. But in the heat of the moment in the store, I'm like, oh, let me go with it. And then I'm like, did I really need these at the end of the day? Yeah. All right. So they all vary in levels of enjoyment to me. First one up, and I think Vin recommended this one, if I remember. Wildlife.
Yeah.
Wildlife. Oh, this is not for me. Just no on Wildlife. Okay. Yeah, I'm much more a mainstream Criterion watcher.
Yeah.
And this looked like it had good ingredients in it. I'm like, okay, Jake Gyllenhaal, like that actor, some more modern movie. All right. Wildfires. I'm like, oh, is this going to be like the backdraft of Wildfires out there? Oh, this sounds really interesting. I'm watching this, and then it's just like a drama, a family drama, and I'm not connecting with it. And oh gosh. And I'm like, okay, why does this guy want to go fight wildfires? It gives you a little bit and it shows a few wildfires, but not enough where I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see why this guy just like dips on his family to go fight wildfires for a few pennies. I'm like, I am not getting this right now. Why would this guy do that? And then you don't even see the wildfires being fought. Like I thought we were once again, like we were going to see these epic fire battles out there in the forest. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's not what this movie is at all. So like, okay, nothing's really happening. And then the wife starts having an affair, and I'm like, oh, I hate affairs in movies, and I'm like, oh. And then the movie just kind of ends. I'm like, what? Nothing goes anywhere. I'm like, oh gosh, Wildlife. For my personal taste, just was not it for me. Not my cup of tea.
Did you like On the Waterfront more than that movie, Mike?
Oh gosh, yeah, I would take On the Waterfront.
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because On the Waterfront has some things I can remember out of it, right? You could have been a contender, right? Wildlife, I don't remember any like big moment where I'm like, oh, okay, that's a cool quote, or it's been like I've seen other family dramas before, and I think there's way better family dramas out there. This wasn't one where I'm like, oh, if I'm gonna watch a family drama, Wildlife, that's the top of my head.
Do you like Donnie Darko?
I'll take Donnie Darko over that. I'll take him as the stereo.
Donnie Darko is not a family drama whatsoever.
No.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dark movie too.
We talked about it before the stream, where Mike, you were like, "Yeah, Vin, you recommended a few things." Like, what's going on with these? But like, admittedly, I really enjoy films that delve into marriage, and sometimes it's the breakdown of a marriage. Like Marriage Story, like Kramer versus Kramer, which I think is fucking fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm a married man myself with children, but I also think they're very, very well done films that I can connect to, and there's a lot of films that I discovered recently where it and one I'm going to talk about before the stream ends, where you delve into an unapologetic look at what it means to have that bond and sometimes break it, and what that results in. Noah Baumbach does a lot of that stuff, not just Squid and the Whale.
Marriage Story.
Yeah. I really enjoy those films, even though they're sometimes uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But Wildfire, I wouldn't put on the level of some of the other ones that I really love. Wildfire, like you're talking about it, Mike. Like I remember the fire at the end. I remember her adultery. I remember different aspects of Jake Gyllenhaal wanting to leave, but that's one where I can't remember like a lot of specifics, so there's better stuff out there. If you want to watch the breakdown of the American Family, there's other stuff out there.
Yep. Yeah. So if I could return that one, I definitely would. All right. Speaking of breakdowns of the families out there, another Vin recommendation.
Oh,
Chili Seeds of Winter.
Oh god, that movie's so good.
Loved it. Man.
Uh,
Love the alternate ending.
Mike didn't like it.
it's better than Wildlife. I will give it that.
Wow.
I mean, it is
Like
cool
it.
seeing the Home Alone dad in there.
Yeah.
And at first, I'm like, I'm really liking this. It's a romance movie. Oh, I'm a sucker for romance, like happy romance stuff. Then I'm like, oh, wait, it's a cheating romance. Okay.
Okay.
So that was a little sad. And so overall, a decent enough watch. Happy to watch it one time, but I don't know if I would rewatch it a whole bunch. So I'm like,
I love it.
Another one that I remember enjoying it, but even less than Wildfire. I don't remember a lot of specifics, but I remember writing a letterbox review of Chilling Scenes of Winter, and I remember being like, "Wow, what's that actor's name from Home Alone? John Hurd."
John Hurd.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember being like, "Wow, this guy is so ridiculously infatuated and blindly in love with this fucking person." Is that accurate?
Yep. I'm like, what is this
Yeah,
guy
pretty
doing, man?
much.
Get out of there. Get out of this. Yep.
Now, did you watch
like
the
the special
alternate
features, though.
ending, Mike?
Oh, there's an alternate ending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't
an
think I
ending
saw that. No.
It's more satisfying, I think, but they
Oh,
gave you a
okay.
theatrical cut of it, which that movie had a different title too when it was released in theaters, I think. So it's
Yeah, I
very
remember
strange.
watching some of the special features, like the interviews and whatnot, which I thought was pretty interesting to learn about how the movie was made. But I usually rarely watch alternate endings because
Yeah.
even if I do watch an alternate ending and I'm like, oh, that was better. And I'm like, man, why didn't they just put that in the movie? Now I know
Right.
it's what the movie was missing. So,
Mhm.
all right, next one up is definitely better by a long shot over these other ones, but still, I don't know how many times I'd watch it. But Ghost World, yes.
Yeah. Dave
Go with
Sheridan in that movie.
yeah, I was happy to see ScarJo. That's cool.
Wow.
The main guy in there. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh,
Yeah,
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi. Yeah, he's great in there. Like, I don't know, he just has kind of a weird vibe about him, which is funny.
Yeah.
But it's a dark comedy, so I like dark comedy, so it
Yeah.
had me laughing quite a bit. And I like coming of age stories. So I'm like, okay, this is right in my wheelhouse. And I didn't know it was like based on like a comic or like a graphic novel, whatever you call it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. The only drawback is the ending, where I'm like, what the heck does this all mean? Ambiguous ending. And then I started doing research about it, and like I still didn't get a clear ending. It's all interpretation. Like, I hate ambiguous endings. Just tell me what happened in the message of the film. But besides the ending, it was pretty good.
You didn't like Dave Sheridan in the gas station or whatever? Dave Sheridan, the guy that played Doofy and Scary
Oh,
Movie.
yeah, that was funny. Yeah, there's a lot of funny moments in there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the end credit scene too. It's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny moments in there. So that was definitely better than the other two. But still ones I'm like, I don't know how many times I'm gonna rewatch these. So yeah.
I had Ghost Dog or Ghost World on the DVD before I bought it on Criterion. So like when I saw it on Criterion, I'm going to upgrade it to Blu-ray, and definitely had to get it through them because I like that movie a lot. But it's definitely kind of art house kind of.
What does the ending mean? I don't know.
It's a ghost, man. The ghost.
Okay, so they are all ghosts then, or is she just the ghost?
A spoiler. I mean, I think the guy in the waiting for the bus. I think that's
right. Because he finally gets the bus, so that means he's dead, right? And then
I remember watching this movie. When did the ghost come into this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Ghost World on the title.
I'm like the title Ghost World. At first, just based on the title, I'm like
an hour into it, I'm like,
the Frighteners or something where there's ghosts hanging around, and I'm like, wait, I don't think there's any ghost in here. That title threw me off.
It's Terry Zwigoff, the guy that did Crumb, which is like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and he also Louis Bluey as well. That movie, it's another documentary. I liked some of his work. He didn't do a lot of directing though. He did Bad Santa later on. That was probably the most mainstream title. Yeah.
Oh, I love Crumb. Crumb is awesome.
Crumb was amazing. It's probably my favorite documentary. I think that one's one of the better ones.
All right. Well, Johnny, we got our next batch.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Spine 838. And I still haven't checked this out. I don't know why I haven't, but it's Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh,
wow.
so
it's got a 4K, but again, I'm a Criterion snob, so I'm going to take the Criterion over that any day. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. It still freaks me out because I've seen the pictures of the eyeballs and that still freaks me out. But a friend of mine said, "Just shut up and watch it," so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, the creature design in that movie is phenomenal. Just all the fantasy elements, really cool.
Okay. My friend of mine, he said, "Oh, it's an amazing film. You need to watch it." I'm like, "But I'll have nightmares because that thing still scares the hell out of me."
Yeah.
He says, "Just shut up and watch it." 9:25. I've only seen this like 4 or 5 times, but I haven't seen it in like 20 years. But it's Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, there you go.
I had to upgrade this because the only version I have is on DVD. And I mean, it's the only X-rated movie to win Best Picture.
Right.
John Voight, Dustin Hoffman. And if you've seen it, still the very end of it when they're on the bus, I mean, that's still heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Amazing ending. Amazing ending.
Number 950. And I did watch this. It's a lot of people say it's the greatest comedy that's ever been made.
Oh.
It's Some Like It Hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis. They witness a mob hit, and they decide to go on the run as women in a jazz club. And Marilyn Monroe's in here. And on this bonus features on this, they give interviews with Jack and Tony, and they're just talking about like how bad Marilyn would screw up a take, or how long it would take her to come out of her trailer, or anything like that. Yeah. Still one of the greatest comedies that's ever been made. Some Like It Hot. Another one, Spine 1027, The Great Escape. I did watch it. This is my second time watching this. I had no idea this was a true story. I saw this on VHS. I thought it was just a war movie. Then watching the bonus features on this, Steve McQueen, James Gardner, they're all escape artists, essentially. So the Nazis, they corral all the greatest escape artists. They try to keep them in one prison, and they end up having the Great Escape. They try to, I think, 300 or something try to escape, and like they get them all back, but like 3. Great film.
Steve McQueen, Indiana legend. He's in The Blob too. You got two Steve McQueen movies. Pretty cool.
This one I have, for some reason, again, I haven't watched it. It's 1054. It's Parasite.
Oh goodness, watch it.
Watch it, bro. Watch it.
Fine. I'm leaving the stream now, and I'll go watch it. But
that story is so easy to follow, man. You don't have to watch subtitles. It's like the international hit because people just love that movie. It's so easy to follow.
And it does have a 4K, but I don't care. I'm happy with this one.
Yeah.
And my last one till the next round, 1056. This was a first time watch. Moonstruck.
Yes.
Awesome movie.
I mean, for me, the parents, Vincent Gardenia and Olympia Dukakis.
Yes.
He made the movie for me. Cher, I was okay with Cher. That's fine. But Olympia and Vincent, they made the movie for me. Fantastic screenplay. I had a ball watching this, and I might watch it again.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage with what the hell happened to his hand? I don't know.
with his hand, you could see the talent there, and it's raw, but you could see something with Nick there, like he's got something. And then later on, we would get Leaving Las Vegas and Con Air,
Long Legs. Get long legs. Nut job.
I haven't seen Long Legs, but I've heard the stories of Long Legs.
Oh, well.
I wanted to take my wife to watch it. She's like, no, we're not watching Long Legs.
I took my son to see Long Legs in theaters. It's not the best ever, but the original, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage has a reason to be nuts in that movie. That it goes over the top for a good reason, I think, because his character is that way. Yeah.
All right. Those are all of them, Johnny, in that batch?
Yep, that's it.
All right, Steve, what we got?
So I only have 6 left. Should I just do them all? Do all those now right now, or wait, do like 3 or come back or
Do 3. Do 3.
do 3?
Save
Okay.
the 3.
Well, all right. So, of course, I picked up Risky Business in 4K, like I mentioned earlier. This is great. What a class! What a class. Johnny, I wish you'd have picked this up, man. It's a class. I upgraded this from Blu-ray. So this is the one. This is like the title that I wanted all month long. I was waiting for that, with July 23rd, whatever it got released. And like I said, I told the story, but there are only 2 copies in the store, and the second one was the 4K. And I thought, I hope I get it. I hope I don't have to drive all over the place. So I think we were doing a live stream that night. So I was like, I hope I don't have to drive to multiple locations trying to find this, because I don't want to be late, come home too late. And I had to eat dinner and all that stuff. But they had it, and I was really happy they had it. Got another Kurosawa, High and Low. Like I said, Spike Lee's doing a remake of this. So Kurosawa, like I said, Mike, I don't know. I can't recommend Japanese movies to everybody.
I know. I'm like,
don't
four-legged.
take my word for it necessarily. It's a risk. You might want to go to the library, maybe check out Seven Samurai or something like that, because it's brilliant filmmaking. I mean, just visually, definitely, and the stories are great. But it is in Japanese, and you have to read subtitles. I thought High and Low was probably the most dialogue I'd ever seen from a Kurosawa movie. Most of his other movies are so much more visual, like Dreams. Dreams is pretty much an all visual kind of movie. This one has a ton of dialogue, and they spend a lot of the first 50 minutes like in one location. But I thought the story was great. It's probably the best story I've heard, seen. I love the third act too, that the way it ends there. That was great. And then I got another. I've been collecting a lot of Alfred Hitchcock movies, and of course I got Rebecca, which I enjoy this movie a lot too. And I've seen, like, I still have my box set. I have like 9 titles to watch out of the 15 and then the Hitchcock box set. And I got To Catch a Thief the other day. Love that movie too. So and this movie was great. So far I really haven't been. Marnie I thought was pretty good too. So far I haven't been disappointed with what I've seen from Alfred Hitchcock so far. So Rebecca was great.
Nice, awesome. We gotta shout out Alex out there. Alex, member of the channel. Good to see you, man. Missing out on some bangers of titles, Johnny. What's happening? Then I'm terrible at reading subs. Yeah, subtitles for me too. I got to be very picky on those. Like some,
you got to be awake, man. Like that's my biggest thing. Like, if I'm tired, there's no way I can watch it. I'm going to stay awake for a subtitled movie. Like I have to be focused, and really be engaged with the movie.
Yeah, and I can do them if there's like action in there, or like some thrilling stuff. That's why I can do Parasite, Godzilla -1. But if you get into like a long drama, 2.5 hour plus,
right,
heavy dialogue, I'm just like, oh, I can't stay awake. I can't do it.
Right.
Oh, we got my cousin in here saying, "Nice seeing you." Yeah, nice seeing you, Ruben, man. Hope everything's going good. All right, let's get into now, Tony, a few more titles here.
Okay, so next up I watched To Die For. I had never seen this one before, so this was my first time. Nicole Kidman, I think she's a great actress. I really enjoy her performances. This is a story about a woman who is obsessed with wanting attention and being on TV, and just what she goes through to get to that point. I thought it had some really great performances with Casey Affleck and Matt Dillon and Joaquin Phoenix. I thought those were great. It's a quirky story, but I really enjoyed it. It kept me entertained. Okay, next up, I watched a film noir called Blast of Silence, which I enjoyed film noirs. And this one was a really heavy dialogue where it's about a hitman. I believe they're in New York City, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember, but it's old. And when I say heavy dialogue, I mean it's heavily narrated by the main character. So, if you don't like that kind of stuff, it may not be for you. But I really enjoyed that one. Next up, of course, I got Risky Business on 4K. I burned down the Barnes & Noble to get to it. But I had never seen Risky Business before. I don't know how I ever missed seeing that back in the 80s, but I was kind of let down by the story. I don't know. I was expecting more from this film, but I'm still glad I saw it. I love the soundtrack. Like, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, so the music was great for me. But glad to have it in the collection. And then the last one I'll talk about is All That Money Can Buy, as we all have already talked about. I really enjoyed this one. I had never seen it, and I love the special features. I love the characters. It was kind of like watching a stage play in a way.
Yep.
It was a homey type film, stuff that I like. Yeah, trying to think how I would describe it. More, it's old timey. It's the characters were kind of like Little House on the Prairie characters. They're farm people.
Okay.
So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I love the special feature with Alec Baldwin when he kind of reads.
Yeah,
like, he has a great.
Skip that. I didn't watch that.
It's worth what it's like 30 minutes, but I like his narration. He did like the Royal Tenenbaums. He did the narration for that movie. He's got a great voice, and he can read do narration really well. It's something one of his stronger points.
Yeah.
All right, Vin, your next batch.
So I've got 7 left, so I'll do 4 quick, and then the last round I'll do the last 3. We've talked about Dogfight. This was the first film during this sale that I watched it that I was like, oh, that's my first like gem of a discovery. I really enjoyed this film. River Phoenix, 1991, Dogfight.
I had never heard of it before this sale. I mean, I've honestly never heard of the film. So it was a nice surprise for me too.
Man, you guys are going to be tempted on that one for next sale.
Yeah, I might have to get that.
The
Criterion sale in October.
Next one, I have to give a shout out to Alex from Cinema Inspired. He recommended it, and it's a movie called Phoenix. And I am a sucker for World War II stuff. Really anything American war history I kind of enjoy. And this film, the premise, again, it's 2014, so it's a little bit more modern. And the basic premise is there's a woman who escapes from the Nazi Jewish camps, but she's disfigured from what the Nazis did to her. So she has to have kind of a facial reconstructive surgery to an extent. And after she's released from the hospital, the movie focuses on her going to try to find her husband. But the whole premise of the film is we don't know as the audience if her husband actually gave her up to the Nazis to save himself. So she's interacting with her husband under this false guise because the husband doesn't recognize her because of the surgery.
Wow.
And she's trying to figure out, did you fuck me over? Or did you? Very interesting. And I enjoyed it a lot. 2 more to talk about quick. One is The Runner. It's a 1984 film. This one is, again, I've found so many films. I don't know if the Criterion collection is like seeking out films that deal with childhood peril and homelessness, but this is another one. It's an Iranian film about a young boy who's homeless, has no family, and he's trying to scrape by, make money by, he sells ice, he shines shoes, he does different things to get by, but very much in the line of like the Dardenne brothers, who do a lot of the stuff with stuff like Tori and Lokita, or Kid with a Bike, or Rosetta. Actually, a lot of these are on the screen behind us. La Promise. They deal a lot with youth poverty, and this is just another one of those films that does so good with it. Another one is Chop Shop, which is fantastic if you guys haven't seen that. And the last one I'll touch on is one I'm actually watching right now, Scenes of a Marriage. I talked about this a little bit backstage. It ties into the same vein of I'm kind of a sucker for domestic dramas, conversational based stuff. This is not something I could recommend to you, Mike, because it is all in Swedish and it's 5 hours long.
It's 5 hours long.
Did you say 5 hours long?
Okay, so it's originally a TV special.
Wow.
It's 6 episodes totaling 5 hours. It got a U.S. theatrical release that's more like 245 or something.
Okay. That sounds more right. I'm like, I didn't even know you can make a movie 5 hour long.
I bought it. I'm gonna watch it in 5 hours, and so it's 6 episodes, and I'm about 2.5. I'm closing in on the end of episode 3, and I'm totally in. I'm totally engrossed. I was watching it before the stream, and I told you guys beforehand, I wanted to just be able to wrap my hands around the husband. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just, if that's your vein, if that's what you like, then great. It does that. It does that very, very well. If it's not what you like, it's not for you. But I got 3 hours left, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'm with Alex here. 5 hours, dang.
That's your money's worth. $20, 5 hours.
So, does anybody here have War and Peace on Criterion? I don't know anybody that owns that movie. It's a 10-hour movie or something like that.
Oh, God.
I've never seen War and Peace, but I don't know if I ever want to check that one out. I'd be a one-time watch if I did buy it.
Yeah, my limit's 4 hours. After 4 hours, just no.
Check my blood pressure and see if I'm.
I know, right? All right, so I guess I'll go.
That's why it's nice. Sorry to cut you off, but that's why it's nice that they break it up into episodes.
Yeah, it's good.
You just take one at a time. Like in my mind, I'm not going to sit there for 5 hours. I'm going to break it up like over maybe 6 days and just watch one episode at a time. Like it makes it much more palatable.
Yeah, I put Dogfight in my wish list because I forgot about that one. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it, so I want to check that out probably in October.
All right, so I guess I'll go the next 3 titles here. Movies that I think are really good. Very happy I picked them up. I would definitely rewatch them, but I still don't think they're top tier Criterion where everybody needs to own them. I think they're missing just something. But first up, we'll have To Die For, Nicole Kidman. I mean, you can't resist that face, right? Nicole Kidman's so good in this movie. And then I also really like the score, Danny Elfman. And then also the soundtrack's really good. I'm like, this is nothing but bangers on the music. I'm like, I don't know what's better. The score, the soundtrack, they're both really good. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, Matt Dillon, the all-star cast. It's thrilling. It's interesting. You're never bored with it. I even love when they do the credits and you see what's happening in the background with the ice skating. I'm like, okay, this is still going. This is even interesting with that. So, yeah, I really like this one. Definitely a good watch. Would recommend most people watch this one if you're into thrillers. The only bad thing, my only gripe here is not really any special features of note. I'm like, oh, if I get Criterion, I want to learn more about the movie. I really want to dive into some good featurettes and a ton of interviews. And you don't have that with this one. So,
that was surprising that they didn't. You would think that they would have done something extra.
Yeah. Especially with all these modern actors. Like, these actors are still alive. You can get anybody back. Like, someone.
Expecting to get paid.
If you guys have seen Halloween 4, Crispin Glover has that iconic awkward dance scene. There's a scene in that film where Joaquin Phoenix tops it.
I don't know if he tops it, but it's pretty good though. It's pretty good. It's hard to beat Crispin Glover's dance. It's pretty good though.
And then, of course, yes, Johnny missing out on Risky Business. Once again, I got to keep reminding him of that.
That's what this stream's now become. Look at the title Johnny didn't get.
Yeah. But this was a first-time watch. Completely a blind buy. The dance scene lives up to the hype, though. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That is the best scene of the movie. So memorable. Oh, wow. That scene just sticks in your mind. So it's worth it for that alone. It kind of reminded me of like a John Hughes title, but more adult, more yum in it, I guess you could say.
More art house a little bit.
Yeah. Still a coming of age story, I guess, kind of like The Graduate a little bit. So I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I would definitely give this some rewatches.
It has an alternate. They have a director's cut. It's kind of got the slightly more artsy kind of ending, and then the theatrical cut's more of a mainstream kind of ending.
Yeah,
both basically good endings.
Which one did I watch? Because I saw that too, the different cuts. I don't know. I feel like I watched the theatrical because usually I always go theatrical first. So
I don't think there's much difference other than like the last like 2 minutes or something like that. I think it's about the only difference I think that I can remember. Pretty much the same running time of both.
Yeah, Risky kind of feels like a slightly darker Ferris Bueller.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as like the goofy comedy in
Mhm.
Ferris Bueller, but yeah, kind of that. Like I said, that John Hughes style. You see that.
All the like iconic moments in Ferris Bueller where he's like running in the backyards and like they're all kind of more inherently tied into the story. Where the most iconic scene, I agree with you, Mike, is the scene where he's sliding around in his briefs. Like
Yeah.
it's just like inserted. Like I don't know. It just feels like you could have like it's not rooted in any way in the story at all.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
threw it in
Well,
there.
he's got the house to himself, though. I
Yeah,
mean, Tom
because he's
Cruise said he did that a lot to that same kind of music. And before he did the movie, he was like doing that. So I think it was kind of his idea to kind of show his freedom, messing with his dad's stereo. He said,
I guess maybe you're right. Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Like it has some inherent ties to the story. But I was when I rewatched it when I got the 4K, and I was like, this just had all of a sudden he's just dancing around. Like
It's that freedom, that like,
Yeah.
parents out of the
Parents are
house.
gone. Yeah,
Let's do
it's like Home
something
Alone. His parents
wild.
are off, and he's got the house to himself and for the first time, maybe the first time in his life. And I love the Curtis Armstrong scene in that movie with the when they're running away from Joey Pants and they're trying to lose him, being chased by him, and then they get to the driveway, and Curtis Armstrong does. He says, "Fuck you, fuck you," and it's definitely. I think it was definitely just a improv kind of thing because they Rebecca De Mornay and Tom Cruise both kind of laugh at that point, and it cuts really quick, and they just kept it in there because it was just so funny, and it's just. Sorry to swear on your channel. I don't know.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
But
The
to repeat
special
that
features
line,
were great
it was
on
so
there
great.
too. Yeah, like hearing Tom Cruise talk about it, how he like got into that dancing moment. He had to practice it a few times to like, sweep across right into the middle of the screen. It took him a little while to be able to find out how to do that. And oh gosh, just movie gold right there.
Yep.
Speaking of movie gold, broadcast news. Yes, so good. Oh my gosh, I'm a sucker for romantic comedies. You got Albert Brooks in here, Holly Hunter, just a gem in this movie. But really funny. I mean, just everything, racing to get the VHS tape in there on time so it plays and all of that. Oh yeah, like even that one
Wait,
actress, I forgot her name, but yeah, she's like the principal
Holly
in
Hunter,
School of
yeah.
Rock, the other actress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you get a love triangle in here too. But the nice thing about this one, because I was kind of griping on some other romances and love triangles in the other movies. Uh, I love the ending with this one because even though it ends, I guess with them not being together type of thing, it still has a happy enough ending because you see them come back later. It looks like everybody's doing good. And I'm like, okay, so there's a kind of a cheery spin on the love triangles where it kind of, I guess, worked out for everybody in the end just fine in their lives. I'm like, yeah, I like that romance type better. It ends happy. Not like Wildlife.
I like William Hurt a lot in that movie. His character is brilliant.
So good, yeah.
Yeah.
But there we go. All right, Johnny, your top ones now.
My top ones.
Well, did you say them for the top, or were you just?
I did my top ones early. I did the reverse.
I'm just going through spines.
No, you're just going through it. What's up with the pile?
I'll go through what I have here, then I'll give you my top. But yeah, it's 1151. Never seen it, but Bob's Blu-rays, he raves about it. But it's Sound of Metal.
Excellent.
Love it. Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet, but don't worry. I'm going to leave here in a minute. I'm going to start watching all these at once. Now, this one I did watch, 1185. It's After Hours.
Yes, there you go.
All the things that can go wrong on one night. He just wants to get home so he can go to bed. I love this film except for the very end of it. If you've seen it, I don't like the very end of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you like just the band coming out, I was like, really?
It's the most comedy of any Martin Scorsese film.
He started all over again.
Yeah.
Now these last three I haven't seen yet, but 12:13, I had to pick up To Die For. 12:18, Anatomy of a Fall.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is the one that I use my $25 credit on, and it's Bound.
There you go. Good job.
So yeah, that's all I picked up in my top 3. I'm going to go ahead and say 8.5 is the best one that I've picked up that I've seen so far. And yes, Mike, I recommend this to you because it's got subtitles.
I don't know. Be careful, Mike. That movie kind of threw me, but yeah, that's cool too.
It was Some Like It Hot.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
8.5. Yeah,
that's
those
my
are good ones.
Oh yeah, I love Great Escape. I still need to see Moonstruck.
8.5 is a brilliant visual movie. I mean, it's like the story kind of lost me a little bit with the Italians. I got a lot more out of the commentaries of that movie. The commentary kind of explains stuff that I totally missed. Because like, what is this? Is he directing a movie? Is he dreaming? I don't know what the hell is happening. But visually, it's like, and it's a long movie too. But visually, it's like, wow, this is. I could see every film director like being influenced by his work. You know, by Fellini. So I had to watch it again though. It's just such a long movie that and the Italian just kind of threw me a little bit. But with me. So basically, I've talked about a lot of these, but Notorious. I got another Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Oh, it's
love
excellent.
this. Cary Grant, so great. I've watched a lot of Cary Grant, like To Catch a Thief, and I've liked everything I've seen from him so far. Like Charade and To Die For. I got this. I wish I hadn't looked at the cast of the movie when I bought this because it gave away the ending kind of cameo there, and I wish I hadn't known that before seeing it because it was so great to see him near the end of the movie. But I like this movie a lot. Though I would recommend this to people. This movie is mainstream enough. Gus Van Sant, Good Will Hunting, the director. I think, and Nicole Kidman, if you like her, I think most people are gonna like this movie. It's gonna appeal to most audiences. And then of course, All That Money Can Buy, which I already mentioned earlier, but with was it Houston?
Walter Houston.
Yeah. I like this movie a lot, and I already gave away the Alec Baldwin 30-minute kind of reading of the story. But he's just such a great job. I think it's worth. It's just done like they just show like a picture book or something, and it's just him narrating, reading the story. So it's not really a lot to it, but it's only 30 minutes, and his voice is so great. He does a great narration. So yeah, those are my titles.
All right, Tony.
Okay, the last 3 that I watched The Roaring Twenties from 1939. Pretty good story. I really enjoyed this one. I had never seen this one before. I do like the older ones, and it's got Humphrey Bogart and what's his name?
James Cagney.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
I had never seen James Cagney in any other films before. I don't know what I missed, but really enjoyed that one. I watched Anatomy of a Fall. Enjoyed the story. Overall, I thought it was really good. Maybe a little let down at the end. Sometimes I like to have a good conclusion, which I think this one had one, but still kind of vague. But really good story, great performances.
To pause, how did they pull off that dog overdose scene?
I don't know. Was it? I was trying to figure out if it was like a puppet or
might have been a puppet. Yeah.
It was insanely realistic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I watched closely with the eyes and everything. The eyes were kind of bulging and stuff. I thought either they had a really good Jim Henson puppet or something, but it was very realistic.
It's not CGI, so yeah, I saw it in the theater. I like the movie. It like half of it's in English and some of it's in French. I think.
I thought it was really easy to watch as far as subtitles concerned, but good story. And then lastly, I got Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 70s Western, Sam Peckinpah. I did not like it. I really thought I was going to love it because I love a good Western, but this seemed very dull and repetitive. The scenes were just kind of very repetitive over and over. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know if it was the score. Even the score was repetitive. It would play the same thing over and over, and that kind of aggravates me. But yeah, I was just expecting more out of that one.
I haven't seen it yet, but it has doesn't it have like 3 different versions of the movie or something? I think.
Yeah, it does. I watched the version that is the newest version that I forgot what they called it. Maybe the 50th anniversary version.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here's the magnifying glass.
Yeah,
I'm wearing glasses.
That's the reason why you're not hearing any spine numbers from me. I can't see those spine numbers.
Even with glasses, I can't read the like what?
But I mean, I want y'all to check out, if you like westerns, check it out, see if you like it. But I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I did a look up all the films on my phone just to give you the titles of the spine numbers.
But that's good to know, Tony, because I'm not a Western fan.
Yeah.
So that is definitely what I'm not even going to cheer.
I love a good Western, and this was not for me.
Right.
All right, Ben. Finish it off.
All right, my last 3. The first one, and these are not in particular order. Like, these aren't my 3 favorite. These are the last 3 I have to show you. Love and Basketball. I had seen it, and I rewatched it. It's very much kind of an American Hollywood film, but
yeah,
coming of age. And man, I just enjoyed the hell out of it from start to finish. It's such an easy film to just love, and I loved it. I knew I had seen it. It was a rewatch, but it's just a well-made, simple coming-of-age love story, and it was great.
Yeah.
And the last 2 are 2 Jarmusch films. Again, I have Ghost Dog. I have a bunch of other ones. Stranger Than Paradise. I think I mentioned earlier, but these 2 are, I don't want to say leaps and bounds, but leaps and bounds for me. I like them a lot better. The first one is Night on Earth.
Yeah.
This is it's almost like an anthology horror where it tells 5 horror stories. This is an anthology film where it tells 5 stories about cab riders in different parts of the world. One's in Paris, or one's in I don't know, all up in New York City, but it's 5 short stories about cab riders picking up clients and just talking to them while they're transporting them from A to B. And some are all right, but the ones that are brilliant are brilliant. And I really enjoyed this one. And the last one is another Jarmusch, Down by Law.
Yeah.
Down by Law, you have a part-time pimp, an Italian immigrant, and an unemployed disc jockey, and they all find themselves within the same prison cell, and it's all about them not really liking each other at first, figuring out the character dynamics, and then them breaking out of prison and trying to establish a life for themselves. So Jarmusch, these 2, fantastic. So if you like Jarmusch, if you like Ghost Dog, if you like any other films of his, these 2 for me are head and shoulders more enjoyable.
Okay.
Ben, did you say a part-time pimp?
Oh yeah,
like he didn't work his way up to full time. It wasn't full time, only part time. Is that for Captain?
He might have sold baked goods on the side. I don't know, but he was definitely pumping out women at once.
A part timer. Yeah, I need to add those movies to my list, because I meant to add those to my list, and the Dogfight too. Like I said, and Mike might have maybe the last one. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Last couple titles here. My top tier ones for this sale. I think most people would enjoy these, and they're really done well by Criterion. I'm surprised nobody mentioned
There it is.
The new title just came out, and Michelle Rodriguez, so good in this one. I mean, it's basically like a Rocky story. It's a boxing drama, kind of a coming of age story, though. But you talk about family dramas. You like family dramas. There's a lot of stuff going on with her and her dad and brother and all those relationships. And then her relationship she gets into, and how it turns into a boxing fight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. So yeah, if you love sports movies, You got to check out Girl Fight. Really, really excellent. And looked really good too. So
Yeah, I
That's
almost
when
scored
I
that.
never could find it. I never could find that.
really, every Barnes and Noble I went to,
Yep.
this had the most copies.
Really?
Everything else was 2 copies. This had like 5 or 7 copies.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Wow.
was
I
about it.
passed up on it because it doesn't have like, the year on the front cover of it.
Oh, yeah. Is it supposed to have the year on the front cover? I didn't even notice that, but a 2000 movie. Yeah, modern
Yeah.
movie.
So
I'm
she
like,
ends up
look at
love
the
interest.
reprint.
Yeah, like her boyfriend she gets is also a boxer, and they end up boxing each other at the end because apparently,
Wow.
like I don't know, they changed rules where in the weight division, I guess girls can box the guys. I don't know how all the logistics
Wow.
went, but yeah, they got into a boxing match.
That's the movie I was about to spoil right before you gave it. It's like I'm sure nobody
Yep.
gave Girl Fight. Like I almost kind of ruined your surprise.
I know, right? But yeah, I like boxing and sports stories and Rocky, and so I'll get a lot of rewatches out of that. That's like my background, like workout movie option there.
Mhm.
All right, and then my number one title, I did find this one, Johnny. Of course, I was
Ah!
Pinocchio on 4K, and I do like how the 4K does look different than the Blu-ray casing. Oh, but Pinocchio, so amazing. I mean, a great movie. But the
Mhm.
treatment on there with Criterion, all the special features they packed in, where you get to hear Guillermo del Toro speak about the movie, and then a lot of the animators, and they show all the animation process and how intricate it was. I'm like, oh my gosh, this must have taken so much time to make this movie, and the special features were next level here. I maybe not as up there like Wall-E. Like I think Wall-E is like the
Yeah.
standout golden seal of like tons of special features, but this was
Yeah.
getting pretty close to it. Like it's close to that level. So yeah, definitely Criterion did that one right. And then it's cool when you open it up, you got the Pinocchio nose that like sticks
Yeah.
out, and such a creative design from Criterion. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect Criterion right there.
I'm surprised that Del Toro is not doing commentaries anymore. The Shape of Water is getting released in November, I think, and he didn't do a commentary on that one either.
Oh really?
Or
Wow.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
And he did the first 3 he did with Criterion. They all have like Kronos and Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh yeah.
They all have some reason that one just didn't have.
Is Shape of Water going to Criterion?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh,
In November.
he's not doing
October, November,
commentary on it.
I think it's November.
November. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that movie's so good. Yeah, I get maybe they'll get all his titles on there. All right, so that kind of is the meat and potatoes of the stream there. But just a last fun little quick question: what current or future sales are you looking forward to? I don't know. Maybe some of us are recovering from this Criterion. I mean, you guys got so many titles. I don't know if we're going to be jumping on any sales in a while. But I know for me, at least, I guess I'll speak first on this one. The Shout Select, like going out of print sale, that I guess they always have pop up. I get emails all the time. It's like, oh, hurry up. The going out of print sale is going to end. I'm like, I thought there was a going out of print sale like 2 months ago.
Either
I could have sworn
they
they
can't give it
picked
up.
up titles. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I want to add these titles right now. But then I look at my bank account and I'm like, oh,
Yep.
I forgot I just did Criterion on Amazon Prime Day. Maybe I gotta wait off on sales for a little bit, because I mean, so many people were doing sales at the same time. Wasn't Kino Lorber doing a sale as well? And oh my gosh, it's like they all put sales around the same time. I don't get it. Can we space this out a little bit? But
I will say with Barnes and Noble, I had used my rewards, and I had like $10 in rewards. So Risky Business I got for $20. So buying
yeah,
that
I
4K.
used a little bit of rewards too.
Yeah,
I,
buying
I actually had $200 in
Well,
Barnes
yeah.
cards.
Of course
I
you
didn't
do.
I don't think I had to pay for anything. I think I may have paid $3 and something after it was all
Wow.
over with.
Awesome.
So I'm very thankful. I cannot do this next time.
Yeah, November.
All right. Well, any other sales anybody's looking forward to? Johnny, is there any sales coming up, or next Criterion sale maybe in November?
Yeah, the one in the Criterion in November. It's God is my witness. I'm going to get Risky Business, the Before Trilogy, Pinocchio. Those are the first 3 that I'm getting. I don't care about the rest of it. I just want those three so I can be happy.
Well, do you need to find them in store, or will you eventually get them online if you need to?
If I have no choice, then I'll get them through Amazon or whatever, because Amazon will do the same sale in November that Barnes and Noble does. But to me, I would rather go and pick it up. It's just it's like me going back to my childhood, going into Blockbuster and then grabbing the tape and holding it in your hand. That's why I want to find it in the store.
Yeah.
But if I can't, then I'll trust Amazon and the broken mail system.
You know what? Amazon was pretty good, though. At least on the clear cases, I feel a little bit more comfortable getting the clear cases because those seem pretty sturdy. And I don't know about like the different digital pack cases, though. Like Pinocchio 4K, I'm like, I'm happy I found that one in the store. I don't know if I would want to order that one.
And who knows if my Barnes and Noble is going to have anything in November.
Yeah.
If you ever order from Barnes and Noble, to have it mailed to your home, their packaging is pretty bad too. Even the nice sets, they'll squeeze it in that pressed cardboard. So be real careful ordering directly from Barnes and Noble.
But
unless you do store pickup.
Yeah, you do store pickup. I mean,
I've gotten Criterion's off Amazon too, where it comes completely smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, the Barnes & Noble, I usually check to see what store might have the movie, like Bound. How I found it there, checking their app. Just order it online and pick it up at the store if you find a Barnes & Noble in your area. Do that. I mean, it's always good to just reserve it and have it ready for you. But for me, I don't really have any sales planned other than the next Criterion sale that they do in October before the Barnes & Noble
Well,
sale.
the flash sale, right?
Yeah, because I have $50 rewards for Criterion on their site that I've been holding since like March and waiting for the next, or April maybe, since waiting for that sale to happen so I can use the $50 and so I could buy some 4Ks and I think you had to spend like $75 to get free shipping now. I think through Criterion, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I'd go a lot easier with $50 to go towards that. It won't cost me much to get 3 or 4 titles in the next flash sale.
And the flash sales, that's only online, right? They don't do it in the store, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So you have to have those delivered. So yeah, but they used to they did one like in February, I think, and last year it was like in March because they waited for Inland Empire to happen like in March before they did their flash sale, and then they did another one in October. So they usually do two a year, just like Barnes and Noble does, 2 in July and November.
How about you, Tony? We know you're always picking some stuff up. Anything?
Definitely. There's not really many sales that I'm looking forward to, but for the next November sale for Criterion, Barnes and Noble, that CC40 box set, that's $799.
Wow.
Even though I got a majority, I just want that box. I don't know what it is about the box.
Oh man, I got
I'm not going to do it, but it's cool. But somebody doesn't have those movies.
I don't have any of those movies, but I look at the titles. I'm like, I don't know any of these titles. It's like
there's some good titles in there.
Yeah, it's like the greatest hits of like Criterion of their.
I don't know. Like there's a lot of foreign language stuff.
Right.
I'm like, I
was thinking I may have to become a part-time pimp just to be able to get it. But if I start now, maybe by November, maybe.
So you got
Criterion's a pimping.
You got 2 or 3 months to get your hose in line, and
get out there.
Now we're gonna get some angry comments out there. We're gonna get some kind of message later.
I've heard those movies are like in a flip book though with the disc.
Oh,
that's what I was. Even as a Criterion lover, even if let's say the price is comparable, where you could get the set or you could buy them all individually, which it's probably cheaper to get this new set, I would assume.
Yeah.
As somebody who collects, I don't want to just have them in a turnover booklet. I want to have each individual release of each film. I'd rather do that, Yeah. So I think when I was scrolling through the 40 films, I own like 22.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not viable. But even if you get it during the sale where the whole price goes down to like 400, then it becomes maybe viable.
Good deal.
It does. But even so, I could pick those. I'd rather have them all with their own individual pull out, open up, instead of just like I don't know what the internal packaging looks like for sure, but I assume with that many films, it's not great, but I could be.
Yeah, I can't imagine them being able to put something else in that box.
Yeah.
With all the disc, like you said, with all the fold out disc and stuff. But maybe there's a booklet, maybe there's something special about it that will intrigue people that may have half the box already in their collection to want to purchase it.
And at the same time, as an advocate of Criterion, even if you never even open it because you have so many of the films already, just it's a nice display piece, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of for beginners, people that don't already own those movies. It might be worth getting. I think I don't know if you ever seen DJ on the films by color. He has a good Criterion channel. He bought like a used copy of the book. There's like a coffee table book, and it's got like all the Criterion the artwork and stuff. Yeah, he bought that, and I think that and this new set that you're talking about, I think it's going to be extremely limited edition. So it's going to be like it's going to sell out quick, and I think they're not going to produce very many of those, and so they're going to be gone, within a month or two, probably, or maybe 6 months or so. It's going to be obsolete. It's going to be out of print, probably.
Yeah, maybe it's like an investment where you buy 3 or 4 copies and sell them for.
Oh my gosh, at that price though, what was it? 700 something. I'm like, even if it hits the sale price, I mean, where are they going to knock it down to?
Yeah, $400.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my gosh. Woo.
What would be interesting is if they did not offer it retail and they only offered it on the Criterion website. That would be an interesting way to sell it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are all the future sales I guess we're looking forward to here. Let's just kind of go around. If you have anything to promote for your channel, where can people find you? All that fun stuff out there. All right, Cool Kid Johnny, what you got going on?
As of now, I'm still trying to recover financially from this, but on the 25th of this month, I will be over on Corey's channel, Wilkie's Movies and Music. We're going to be doing our monthly movie crew, and we're going to be watching this Paul Verhoeven classic, Starship Troopers.
Yes,
that's an awesome movie. I love that.
And then I think the next day, I'm back with you, Mike, on the 26th.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's a good reminder. I still need to get that stream finalized. I still need to find people for the Scream Factory team out there. So if anybody, I thought people collect Scream Factory, but I still can't find enough people to be on that team. If you love Scream Factory, you want to join that team, I need more people so I don't have to cancel that stream.
I love the Scream Factory, but I'm actually doing a stream that same night. Blu-ray Hunter.
I'll tell you, it's just that
I'm all booked, buddy. I'm all booked.
I know it's just that night that's tough to get people. I might have to reschedule it. I got the Kino Lorber team lined up. I think I got judges, but that Scream Factory team, it's like, every time I get somebody, another person drops out. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe I guess I can be on the Scream Factory team. All right, Steve, what do you got going on?
Oh, it's I'm Excelsior Movie Reviews. Love. I'm on a Instagram, same name. Letterbox, same name. Just love being on this channel and talking to you guys and talking about Criterion. That's what I do. I love physical media, so it's come to my channel if you want to check out some cool ranking videos and Criterion hauls and just physical media hauls. That's what I do. And I'm going to do another digital co-giveaway probably this weekend, and again on Ghostbusters, the Frozen Empire, and got Furiosa yesterday at Walmart. One of the few Walmarts that actually had it. I got the 4K of that yesterday, so I'm going to do a digital co-giveaway probably next week, but I'll do a video this weekend.
Yeah, I also enjoy your out of theater reactions. You do a good job.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't give me enough time to ruin the movie like that. I just like to give a very quick 50-second thought of what I thought of the movie and
Right.
not ruin it. The more I talk about a movie, the more I'll spoil it and just like nobody will go see movies if I talk about them too long.
There's so much movies I got to get caught up on, though. I'm like, I missed last weekend, so now I'm like, what do I see this weekend? I don't know.
Alien Romulus. I mean,
Yeah,
good movie.
Definitely there.
Check it out. It reminds me of the first two, especially the original Alien, and a little bit of Aliens, a little bit too. But it's more Ridley Scott, and it's a horror movie. Like you're gonna get horror in that movie, and it's fun, scary.
Yeah. I'm excited. All right, Tony, what do you got going on?
Just my regular daily videos. I got all the Film Vault steel books that I'll be unboxing and unwrapping during the week.
Wow.
So you can see all of these nice little Film Vault series this upcoming week.
So didn't Film Vault put out new packaging? Because didn't they just do the big rectangular set?
Yeah, so they did. Yeah, so now you got all those in a steelbook form with nice artwork underneath the slip. Yeah, so we got Shawshank, Jaws,
yeah, awesome.
2001: Space Odyssey, Goodfellas. So really the same things that they've already released in the box. They've now got steelbooks with some really nice looking artwork.
Wow!
If you like to see what they look like, tune in throughout the week and check out my 2-minute video I do.
Yeah, I've slowly amassed all those original Film Vault releases. The only one that I can't get my hands on because it's like $1,000 is Blade Runner.
But oh man, that was a tough one to get.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was.
All right, Ben, what do you got going on?
The only thing in the immediate future is this coming Wednesday on Jake Steelbook Obsessed. He does a boutique talk, kind of long form conversation, and we're going to be talking about Petite Maman.
Oh yeah.
Which is a very interesting French film. It's only like 85 minutes, 73 minutes. Very interesting film that I found, I don't know what the word is, powerful in a way. So when he asked me, what film do you want to talk about? I kind of was like, somehow that came out first. Let's talk about Petite Maman. So we're going to talk about that film this Wednesday.
All right.
Awesome.
You guys know me. I'll try to get some videos going more consistent this week. This last week, a little light for me. I'm trying to get healed up here. Hopefully my voice is getting recovered enough so I can bust out those videos for you all again next week. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do. But thanks everybody for joining here. Thank you, judges. Well, not judges. See, I'm already getting mixed up already. Future streams. But yeah, thank you, panel members, for sharing your Criterion pickups and having that great Criterion conversation. And yeah, have a great night out there, everybody. Everybody's channel links are in the description below, so definitely visit the channel, check out some videos, and enjoy, of course. A quick shout out to my members, and we'll call it a night out there. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.